On the Jacob Beer Show today, I'm so happy to be joined in Will Hahn's studio as I'll be interviewing him today, as you can tell, as our guest, and ask him a little bit about his music since he is now officially a musician. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Happy to be in your studio, so thank you so much for inviting us. So my first question isn't really so much a question, but how did you get started with music?
Yeah, so I'd say there's a period in my life where I didn't really have like real people that really cared about me and good friends and all that stuff, and so I didn't have much to do over like the weekends and the nights and stuff, and so I always wanted to play guitar. So one day I finally I think it was my freshman year, I just bought a guitar from one of my older friends for $15, and it wasn't anything special, but it was just a way to start, and so I just put a lot of time into it, and it's just I'd come home from school or practice and play guitar for 3 hours, and my hands start bleeding, and then I'd play for another 2 hours, and so I just kind of put the time like that, and I just really developed a love for music, and then through that I started listening to different kinds of music and playing some different instruments. Like I started playing piano a couple years ago, and then other stuff like that, and just teaching myself instruments.
Interesting. Now, did you have like a teacher who taught you how to play, or
No, so I kind of just
learned yourself?
Figured it out. I mean, there's different, like sometimes I'd watch some musician I liked, like John Mayer, and kind of like watch videos and just see how his hands were and like all this stuff, but I didn't really I don't know, I didn't really learn from like a teacher necessarily.
Interesting. So what's kind of the process behind how you make your music, things like that?
Yeah, so I'd say, are you talking about for recording or writing or either?
Both.
Okay, so I'll do writing first. So basically, writing, I write all the time, so I'm always in my notes app. Like, it's one of my most used apps. I'm always just writing different things I think of, or different like expressions I hear that are kind of cool. Then I'm like, oh, I think I can reword that. Maybe like, I don't know, have it some cool wordplay or whatever. So I'm always writing, and so when I want to like write for a song, I normally take my guitar, sometimes piano, but typically my guitar, and I'll just play through some different chords, different progressions, or find a little melody, a little lick that I like, and try to kind of fit words to that. And so I'll kind of like go off my notes app and find like scroll down, find some phrase I like or something that I can go off of, and then kind of just like spit out some words, just kind of freestyle a little bit, and kind of figure out how I want the voicings to sound, and so then I'll kind of like I'll just kind of go through that over and over again, and then I'll find like these like phrases will come out, and like I'll find like a chorus, and or I'll like just something will come out like instantly. I'm just like, oh, I love that.
Wow.
Like kind of like in another way, like the chorus, I kind of just like was playing these chords the first time, and like as I pluck every string, play every chord, dance on the lonely floor, when the lights dim down, the world slips away. It's just you and me. I wouldn't have another way. It just came out like first try. Just like it's kind of slipped out of my head, and so yeah, that's kind of what I do. Verses are a little harder because I kind of like, I don't know, I think a lot more about them, so I'll do like 10 different verses, then I'll pick one and kind of do that. But that's kind of how I write songs. For recording, I only started like actually recording this past like December, kind of like middle December, and so over winter break, I kind of thinking about my next year and like 2023, and I was like, what do I want to do next year? Like, I did all this stuff 2022. I was kind of reflecting, and then I'm like, I've always loved music. I've always kind of written songs just for fun, and just kind of like made little voice notes or whatever. But I want to like release a song, and like I think it'd be so cool to like have my name on Spotify and like become like a verified artist eventually and stuff. And so I started recording and like trying to figure out the mixing and mastering. And to be honest, I thought it'd be a lot easier than it was. And it's not very easy, at least to me. And so it's kind of like learning another instrument to some degree. And I just put time and time and time. I wake up and record over break every day, like all day, just in my room recording, and then like trying to figure out the little like nuisances of everything. There's like all these little things that like you just wouldn't know unless you do it. And so then so then I recorded some different songs, mixed them myself, and kind of like sent them to a distributor, and then I had to pay them obviously, and then I got all the songs on Spotify and iTunes, so that's been super cool.
For sure. And you recently, after all this hard work, you recently released a song less than about a week ago called Another Way.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about that song.
It's a song kind of, not, I don't really write songs specifically about anybody, but like, things obviously influence it a little bit, or like different verses I might, I don't know, think of something or some situation. But it's really just a song about kind of the idea of being around somebody and like everything just doesn't, like nothing else like really matters. Or you're just like around them and it just seems like I said, like the lights dim down and the world slips away. It's not like a literal like
absolutely
the lights don't actually dim down, but it's kind of like this feeling that like I don't know, I feel like everybody wants to have, and of just being around somebody and just like they're so special and everything that nothing else matters, and kind of just you're just in that moment and you're just so in the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally. What are your plans for any future music? You know, things like that.
Yeah. So I kind of along with recording another way, I recorded about 10 other songs that are like similar, I guess, in different ways. Different songs, like I have one that's like all piano and it's like kind of an interlude. I really love that song, and another song that's like an orchestra song. So I don't know if those songs will see the light of day or not, but so I have some different songs that I recorded. They're like 90% done, so I just gotta finish like final mastering and stuff. And then I also wrote a song 2 days ago that I really like, so I don't know, maybe I'll release that. And I was kind of thinking of releasing an album like after this song, kind of like do the song, figure out like, because you know there's all kinds of different things.
Absolutely.
Like your first song, you have to like set up profiles afterwards, and after you release it, and like try to get all these things figured out. And but now I'm kind of thinking I might release more singles, or I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to figure that out right now, what I'm gonna do moving forward. So we'll
for
see.
sure. Sounds like a lot of good things going on. So
Yeah.
make sure you follow Will on everything that he's up to, so you can find out when he releases it. And then another question I kind of have is if you could do, you know, maybe a song with an artist, who would it be? You know, your dream kind of artist there.
Yeah. I would love to do like a duet like with some girl, and I don't think it really matters necessarily. Like obviously if they're famous would be cool, but
if you had to pick a famous one, who would it be?
Famous one. I don't know. I really don't know. I just like kind of like the male female like harmony vocal things or whatever. I've never had vocal lessons, so I don't really know like the correct term for those or anything. But
it's a learning process.
Yeah. I would love to just do like a song where it's kind of going back and forth a little bit, storytelling.
Well, the good thing is you know you're going off to college soon, so you know there's actually more girls.
There are more girls at a college campus.
So
yeah.
The good thing is I think that duet will have a very good chance of becoming a possibility.
Yeah,
but, you never know if somebody like Taylor Swift were to listen to this show. I doubt it would happen, but
maybe Taylor Swift's a big Jacob Muir fan.
You never know. So yeah. So one last question I kind of have is, what advice would you have to your younger self? You know, now that you've looked, you finally released a song. You know, what would you have said to yourself? Your 8th grade you know, coming home, not having a lot of friends, what would have you said to yourself now looking back?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say a couple of things. One, discipline in my life changed everything. The consistency, whether it's, I think I'm a big believer in like kind of like work in the dark and kind of do these things and like do these things when nobody's watching. And so I told you about that.
Absolutely.
And so whether it's sports or lifting weights or whatever, if you want to improve yourself and get better, just work on your own and by yourself, and kind of just improve every day and be consistent in that every day. And you don't have to let other people know. I mean, I'm not posting my songs that I'm working on every day on Instagram or anything, but I think it's really cool when you, in my life, I've seen things that I don't necessarily like in myself. Like, I felt like I wasn't talented or wasn't good at anything, but like, and so I learned guitar, and then now I feel like I had value. I felt like I used to be really, really skinny, and I'm still not like I'm not going to be like the biggest bodybuilder in the world ever, but I didn't like that, so I improved myself in that way. And so I think discipline changes everything. I also think Jesus changes everything. I love Jesus, and he's really been like the guy, the person to just change everything in my life. He's freed me from a lot of the struggles I face and insecurities and judgments. And so, that's great.
Absolutely. And one last question I have is, it's really not so much a question, but where can people who haven't maybe listened to your music yet, have a couple listeners from out of state, you know, where can they go to find your music at, you know?
Yeah, so if you look up Another Way by Will Hahn on Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, iTunes. I mean, Tidal, SoundCloud. It's everywhere. I think it's like on 70 streaming services or something.
And just add on to that a little bit. If you had to pick your favorite one, which one do you think?
My favorite streaming service?
Yeah, probably not SoundCloud. I'm gonna guess.
No. I use Spotify personally. I know Apple's kind of best for
Spotify Wraps that everyone sees at the end of the year are awesome when it comes to artist or podcaster. So if you're ever wanting to start, one of those two things, it gives you probably the best
if I was in somebody's Spotify Wrap, that would be like one of the coolest things ever. That'd be super awesome.
I'm sure there've been a lot of people's Spotify Wrap at the end of this year. So
I don't know. Hopefully, but yeah,
you'll probably be above it on a lot of them compared to even Taylor Swift on quite a bit of people in Hancock County.
I don't know about that, but I think if you want to support your favorite artist, Apple pays the most, but Spotify obviously is
gives the best
85% of people listen to music nowadays. So I mean, it doesn't really matter. Just kind of support your favorite people, Taylor Swift or whatever, however you can.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for letting us use your studio today to conduct the Jacob Beer Show interview with you. And I look forward to seeing people, get inspired after hearing you speak today. We even have listeners from India. So I met a girl from India the other day who's now listening. So
it'd be awesome.
I look forward to seeing people get inspired by this interview. So thank you so much for letting us use your studio, for coming on the Jacob Beer Show today on this beautiful day outside.
Yeah, thank you so much. Feel free to reach out to me on any kind of social media. Will Hahn 999. That's 3 9s on anything. Feel free to reach out to Jacob with questions.
Appreciate it. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Jacob Beer Show today.
Thanks for having me, Jacob.